Man, WNBA owners and Caitlin Clark moving along with business as usual. Meanwhile, the WNBPA continues to play games and waste everyone's.
Ladies and gentlemen, stop everything you are doing right now. I mean it. Put down your phone, close the other tabs, because what I am about to tell you will completely change the way you look at Caitlin Clark and the entire WNBA labor war. For weeks, we have been covering this collective bargaining disaster, the greed, the jealousy, the veteran players holding this league hostage. But what just leaked from inside the negotiation room? Nobody saw this coming. Nobody. Caitlin Clark is not playing their game anymore. She is done waiting. She is done being patient. She is done watching veteran players who never sold out a single arena in their careers, dictate the future of a league that she single-handedly rescued from complete and total irrelevance. According to sources close to the negotiations, Caitlin Clark has made a private demand, a demand that has sent absolute shockwaves through the players' union. And if what we are hearing is true, she might be preparing to do something that has never, ever been done in the history of women's professional basketball. She might be ready to leave the union behind entirely. Let that satisfier sink in for a moment. Now let me explain why this is absolutely nuclear. The WNBPA, the players' union, has been negotiating with the league for months. They want 30% of revenue. They want private jets. They want max contracts that rival the NBA. And who is leading this charge? Breanna Stewart, Nneka Ogwumike, Diana Taurasi, veterans who have been in this league for over a decade. Veterans who played in front of empty arenas for years. Veterans who never, not once, generated the kind of money that Caitlin Clark brought in during her rookie season alone. These players have positioned themselves as the voice of the union. They claim they are fighting for all players. They claim they built the foundation that Caitlin Clark is standing on. But here's the problem with that narrative. It is a complete and total lie. Caitlin Clark did not inherit a thriving league, no. She inherited a league that was bleeding money for 28 consecutive years. She inherited a league where the average attendance was embarrassing. She inherited a league that most sports fans could not name 5 players from. And in one single season, she flipped the entire script. She broke viewership records. She sold out arenas that had never, ever seen a full crowd in their existence. She brought in a television deal worth over $2 billion. $2 billion! Let that satisfy simmer in. That money did not come because of Breanna Stewart. It did not come because of Diana Taurasi. It came because of one player, and one player only, Caitlin Clark. And now the veterans want to split that money equally. They want Caitlin Clark to sit quietly while they negotiate a deal that benefits players who contributed almost nothing to this explosion in value. But here is what they did not expect. Caitlin Clark is not stupid. She sees exactly what is happening. She sees that the union leadership is using her name, her brand, her popularity to secure bags for themselves. And according to multiple insiders, she has had enough. The demand that Clark has reportedly made behind closed doors is simple, but devastating. She wants a separate compensation structure for players who drive measurable revenue. She wants marketing guarantees tied to individual performance. She wants the ability to negotiate directly with the league on certain endorsement and appearance deals. In other words, she wants what she deserves. She wants to be paid like the generational talent she is, not dragged down to the level of players who could not sell 10 tickets to their own family members. And this is where it gets ugly. The union leadership is furious. They see this as a betrayal. They see Caitlin Clark as a young player who does not understand solidarity. They're whispering to reporters that she is being selfish. They are leaking stories that paint her as difficult, as entitled, as someone who does not respect the game. But let me ask you a simple question. Who is really being selfish here? Is it the player who generated billions of dollars and wants fair compensation? Or is it the veterans who generated nothing and want to ride her coattails to a massive payday? The answer is obvious to anyone with a functioning brain. The union leadership is terrified, and they should be, because they know what happens if Caitlin Clark walks away. They know that without her, the television networks will renegotiate. They know that without her, the arenas go back to being empty. They know that without her, the WNBA returns to being a charity case that loses money every single year. Caitlin Clark is the golden goose. She is the only reason anyone is paying attention. And the veterans? They are trying to cook her before she can lay any more golden eggs. Now here's the part that should concern every single fan of women's basketball. If the union does not give Caitlin Clark what she wants, she has options. She could sit out. She could go overseas where leagues would pay her double what the WNBA offers. She could focus entirely on endorsements and make more money without ever stepping on a WNBA court again. The leverage is entirely in her hands, and the union knows it. That is why they are panicking. That is why they are leaking stories. That is why they are trying to turn public opinion against her before she makes her move. But it is too late. The fans see through it. We see the jealousy. We see the greed. We see veteran players who are angry, genuinely angry, that a 22-year-old has more value than their entire careers combined. Caitlin Clark did not start this war. She just wants to be paid fairly. And if the union forces her hand, if they push her out the door, they will have destroyed the greatest opportunity this league has ever had. Remember this moment. Remember who struck the match. It was not Caitlin Clark. It was a union blinded by jealousy and desperate to steal what they could never earn.